Welcome to another week of high school football and another week of the Fearless Football Forecast. I'm your host, Ronnie Woodward, joined by Tony Castleberry, Jim Gentry. Thanks for sticking this one out this week. I know we had some programming issues, but I'm glad y'all are here with me.
No doubt, we're here.
Cool. All right, let's get right into it. Tony, West Craven at D.H. Conley, first game.
Yeah, I saw D.H. Conley play last week and was thoroughly impressed. I had heard how good that offense was. I had seen the scores and things like that. But actually watching those guys play against a tough North Pitt defense last week, I was really impressed with what they do. Brian Pascal has really got that thing clicking. They got a lot of different weapons. They got a good quarterback. They got two really good running backs. They can hit you from all different angles. I really like that offense. I like what they're doing. And they play pretty good defense, holding North Pitt to 19 points. Conley's on a roll right now, 3-1.
Gotcha. All right, and a change of philosophy here. We're going to go ahead and pick this game. Tony, start it off.
I'm going to stick with Conley. I think they keep the roll going. They're staying at home again. They had a good crowd there last week. I expect them to have another good crowd. I think Conley wins.
All right, Jim.
I'm going to go with Tony on this one. I think Conley wins this one. This is a defining year for Conley. West Craven's been one of those top 2 or 3 teams in this conference every year. If they can get this win, it's a great way to kind of start off the second half of the season.
Yeah.
And I think they do it. I think they win easy.
A point of how hot Conley is, they're 2-point conversion away from being 4-0.
True.
And
that was against Rose.
Against the 4A
team,
team that has dominated them in recent history. I'm going with the Vikings. They're playing at home. They're playing well. I think they roll on. Next game, Jim, South Central at West Carteret.
Yeah, that game last week was a little bit of a surprise for us. I think, did we all pick South Central?
Yes.
That one? And then they went and got shut out by Northern Nash. That South Central team, I think, is still trying to figure itself out. They beat Farmville Central earlier this season, but even in that game, they were scoreless at halftime. It's just they got to find that offense. It disappears, and now they got to go on the road against a 4-0 West Carteret team. Not an easy task, not an easy road trip.
Yeah.
All right, we've talked about that. This is one of the toughest games to pick, but go ahead and start us off. You're on the spot here. South Central, pick that one.
I've been picking South Central, but I'm going to go with West Carteret mostly because it's a road trip, such a road trip, and I want to see South Central do a little more offensively before I pick them again. West Carteret's been beating up on some smaller schools, but being at home, I think they have a slight edge in this game.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn with this one even right now. But the thing that stands out to me, you touched on that West Carteret has beat up on some 1A teams and 2A teams. South Central's lost some games but played good competition. So I'm going to go with the Falcons, and I guess you could call it a little bit of an upset, but a close game either way. I'll go with South Central turning that thing around, hopefully.
I'm going to pick South Central as well. I think that last week kind of maybe opened their eyes. I think that, they got a new coach. He's still learning his way, too. I think that maybe lit a fire under him and that team. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think South Central will go down there and get a win.
All right, next one. I'll preview this one here. Tarboro and North Pitt. We talked about it earlier. North Pitt's a good team, has some talent, making some good things happen. But, man, it's not a good time to play Tarboro. I don't think there ever is a good time to play Tarboro. That's a strong team. They took care of North Pitt pretty handily last year, but North Pitt's doing some good things, so I think they can hopefully hang in and see what happens. You never know. I think that crew is confident right now with Coach Bowl, so we'll see how that one goes. And I'll go ahead and start the picks with that. As I just said, Tarboro is just too good, too strong. I like North Pitt, but I don't think it happens this week. Maybe next week or in the next coming weeks they get a conference win or two.
Yeah.
But I'm going with Tarboro.
Yeah, as good as North Pitt has played, they're not on Tarboro's level. I mean, I think even Coach Bowl would admit that. Tarboro is a historic program. They've been strong for so many years. I think Tarboro will win pretty easily.
Okay. Jim?
I'm going to go with North Pitt with the upset at home.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, I've been picking against them. It's time to go for them, so give me a win.
Nice.
I like it. Tony, you're next here. J.H. Rose, Rocky Mount, a rivalry game, sort of, at least a game that's always close and kind of heated.
Yeah, two programs that know each other not just in football but every sport. They've been playing each other for years and years and years. And of the tough games to pick, I know there are a couple of them. This one is certainly one for me too. But I think Rose, Rose has been in every game they played. They lose by 3 points in a wild game against New Bern last week. I think that Rose is kind of getting into form here. I think that we're discovering what they're really about. I look for them to go to Rocky Mount and play a really good game.
All right, Tony, you going to pick the Rampants or not?
I'm going to pick the Rampants.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're going to get above 500 at Rocky Mount. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it'll probably be a touchdown game. It seems like every game they play is a close one.
Yeah.
I think they'll have another close one, but I think they'll win Friday.
Okay. Jim?
I'm going to go with Rose also to get the road win on this one. They can score a lot of points. They can score in a lot of different ways,
Right.
and I think that continues on Friday.
All right, I'm going to go with the Rampants as well. I know they have a bye week coming, so I think this is kind of important to. I know they have some injuries. They're kind of banged up. If they can get this win, get to the bye week, and kind of get, as you said, kind of get this thing rolling. But I think this is a big game where if you lose, then go to the bye week, it's much different from winning.
Definitely.
So I think this is a big win or a big game for them. I think they get a win, but it's going to be pretty difficult here. Last game, Jim, preview here with Aiden Grifton at Pamlico County.
Yeah, Aiden Grifton's only loss this year is the North Pitt, and it may have been a little bit of an upset. Pamlico's struggling this year, got blown out by West Craven. West Craven's only win this year. Right now things are clicking despite that loss to North Pitt. It's a typical Aiden Grifton team. You know what you're going to see when you go out there.
Yep.
You're going to see a really good defense, and you're going to see them pound the football. This is not a good matchup, I think, for Pamlico.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Jim, with that said, are you going to pick the Chargers?
Chargers, I think. I mean, that's just Pamlico's not going to get their second win of the season on Friday night. I think Aiden Grifton wins pretty easily.
I agree. I know we talked a lot about Aiden Grifton's offense, but their defense is playing well, too.
Absolutely.
Kind of under the radar. They're shutting teams down. So I think the defense, pitches a shutout maybe, but I think they get a win at Pamlico. What about you, Tony?
Yeah, I think the Chargers win easily. I think that's, pretty much says it all. What Jim said really speaks to the point. They overpower teams, and I think they'll go down there and do that to Pamlico.
All right, well, there's the rundown of all this week's games. There's our picks. Grab Saturday's paper and check reflector.com, and we'll see you next week.